Hey there, all of you. So, we are going to listen to Arekta Rock Band finally.
Finally.
We have listened to some of their work, but this specific track is my personal favorite. So, I was mentioning to him yesterday that I like this particular track and I wanted to listen it with him and with all of you, of course. The track is called Eden. So, one important thing before I play is that notice the guitar solo at 3 minute 20 mark.
And the
I
bass
simply
line. I
and the
love the
bass line.
bass line. This track has an
Yeah.
amazing bass line.
So you are what you are signing up for, sir. Already.
Right. Yeah, it feels like sometimes that we are spoiling the track for people. But,
Could
anyways,
be.
right. All right, let's do it. Three, two, one, play. Oh, beautiful guitar work. Reminds me of Polyphia.
Yeah.
Reminds me of
Yeah.
Polyphia.
The beginning.
Top notch.
The intro itself is so amazing.
I like how they're changing wardrobe.
Yeah.
Amazing video.
I love his singing.
Absolutely. I was gonna say that. And combined with the bass line, it's
Yeah. Now it's gonna start. He's getting in the groove. Just building it up.
right, yes, it's getting hot. Take it off.
Okay. I have one question for you. You mentioned the bass line of this particular track, right? Were they using electronic bass or
No, I don't think so.
was it the bass
I mean,
guitar?
it was bass guitar. I think
Hmm.
so. I might be wrong, but the thing is that all the instruments these days, fortunately or unfortunately, goes through computers,
Yeah.
right? And once that sound goes through computer, you do a lot of you add a lot of filters on top of that, right?
Hmm.
To put it in a manner that it can be easily understood, right? So
Hmm.
each feed, so each instrument has a different feed, has a unique feed, and is
Hmm.
recorded separately, and then it's layered on top of each other, right? And then each
Hmm.
layer can be mixed and matched and applied a lot of filters, if I would
Hmm.
not use other terms, or technical adjustments, or you do masking and all. I mean, there, I even don't know these stuff very well,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So I
I,
only
I,
know
I, yeah, you're right. I think it's because of the reasons that you mentioned that it's passed through the computer, obviously.
but
Yeah.
with, I mean, these days you can create this kind of sound directly with the
Yeah.
bass through
That's what I
instruments
was coming to.
attached to the bass, right? It doesn't have to
Hmm.
be coming from the computer, although usually it does. Nowadays it always is, right?
Hmm.
Softening it up, reducing the treble a little bit, the
Hmm.
highs, as we say it. So yeah, the bass line. I love the bass line. Absolutely. So
The reason I asked this question was because it did not sounded like a traditional bass guitar to me initially. So
why not?
I don't know because when I'm
Okay,
hearing a
okay,
traditional
okay.
bass
I
guitar,
see
it
what you're
sounds
saying.
a bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I see. So when you said traditional bass guitar, yes, there has this traditional bass guitar has this boom, right? This
Yeah. Yeah.
spring in it, right? Uh,
Hmm.
but if I take a popular example, Bhopar Pagul, you heard this bass, right? That sounds very
Hmm.
different. But if you just play bass with nothing attached, then yes, this is the sound it makes.
Hmm.
But again, as I'm saying, that a lot of the instruments are attached, a lot of amplifiers and all are attached
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
guitars these days, and then you can add all sort of distortions before it goes, even before it even goes to computer, right? While recording, while
Hmm.
playing live, you can do that. So yeah.
Hmm.
Anyways, however they made the sound of bass, it was lovely.
It was lovely.
Also, sometimes what happens is that in some tracks you want to put the vocals on the front, right, and all the instruments on the back supporting vocals. In some tracks you have instruments on the forefront, and then you
Hmm.
have vocals at the same level. In some tracks, you have vocals slightly like subdued in
Hmm.
favor of instruments. We
Hmm.
we felt that in Ghorgari, right?
Yeah.
That they had this very weird mixing. Here, I thought that instruments took charge. They were on the forefront,
They
right?
were.
And rightly so, because how amazingly skilled they were. The
Absolutely.
guitarist, all of them, the bassist, every single person, how skilled. And in this track, they were kind of showing off,
Hmm.
right? Uh, as soon as it started, it reminded me of Polyphia. So if people haven't heard Polyphia, we covered one of their tracks, and I'm gonna link it up here and try it out. If you wanna listen to exceptional, like out of the world, top of the line, best of the best guitar work, try this.
Yeah. Their
Polyphia.
channel is a drug.
Yes, their work is just mind-boggling. I mean, the kind of skill people just try to cover their work just to see or just to show that they can, because it's so difficult. And I was watching Oni Hassan, and he was
Mm,
trying to actually do one of their tracks. I think it was Goat,
mm,
and
mm,
he was showing that what was the difficult parts and how much time it took him, like 3-4 days just to learn one thing, 3-4 days just to learn another technique.
mm.
And that track, Polyphia, playing God, and all their tracks are technically most difficult, one of the most difficult and most challenging, and at the same time, they are not just showing off. Extremely beautiful. I would
Yeah,
urge everyone to go listen to it. But let's come back to Eden
to this
now,
track. Yeah,
right? Okay. So yes, they were the guitar, the skills. One of the skills that is hardest is the fast picking, right? It's
mm,
not the switching of notes, but fast picking. While switching
yeah,
notes, that's like combining two very difficult
yeah.
advanced techniques. And yeah, man. Oof, oof. Okay, so
That,
yeah, what I would be doing is I would, now they have set a high bar for their skills.
yeah, they have,
So
they
let's see.
have.
Yeah, tell me, what did you think?
For me, actually, three things. I already mentioned the guitar solo at 320 mark. It was not overdone. It was very rightly placed, and it was not too long. It was perfectly done. So hats off to to the guy who designed that particular bit. It was just done amazingly. Two more things which stood out for me. So this track reminded me of a track from Nescafe Basement as well called Resistance, which was done by Abdullah
Abdullah
Siddiqui.
Siddiqui.
So there are no similarities as such in both the songs, but the use of electronic instruments in that track and the beats of both the tracks, they got me hooked instantly in both the tracks. And I personally think that they might have used electronic bass in this particular track as well. But the constant sound of bass, whether it was the bass guitar or the electronic bass, the constant sound of bass and keys in the background was a stunning experience. A stunning experience. Second thing, the vocalist of this particular band was phenomenal. He was constantly
Absolutely.
singing in falsetto without even zilch of deviation from musical notes. So the the musical notes that were being played on bass and on the guitars, he was not even deviating a bit from that. He was constantly singing in falsetto and doing it remarkably well. It is extremely tough to do it with such heavy bass in the background. That's what I think.
And
So these two things stood out.
even without, I mean, if you talk about bass, I mean, while you're singing with your airy voice, it's
Mm,
very tough to transition from notes in a quick manner, right?
yeah,
And we saw
yeah.
that in Yad, when we heard Yad from Shafqat Amanat Ali.
Shafqat Aman
And
Talib.
how was he doing that? I still get
Effortless.
goosebumps. Listen, yeah, yeah, that's the peak of skill. But again,
Yeah.
here I'm saying that every single member was so skilled, so skilled. It was
Super
just,
skilled.
I mean, it felt like they're just bragging about, okay, you know what, I can do this. Look at it, I can do this. And not, I mean, when you're showing off, it usually don't come out meaningful, right? But here,
Hmm.
it was definitely meaningful. It was part of the track,
Yeah.
and not one element was greater than the sum of them.
Hmm. True. By the way, the video concept was really interesting
Yes,
as well. You were praising it during the track.
yes.
And when I read the description, I'm sorry I couldn't translate the lyrics for this particular track. But when I was reading the description, I read that the song itself talks about uh, the the parallel
Alternate
reality
reality.
or alternate reality where you want to be and just being imaginative there. And in this particular video, you were mentioning that the costume or the
Yeah,
wardrobes
yeah.
are changing instantly. And at the end as well, the last shot, they are back to the normal clothes that
Yes.
they were wearing in the beginning. So the entire band is just in a different dimension, thinking about a different reality, and then they are brought back to their own garage where they are singing, right? So it's an amazing video that they have done.
Amazing performance, amazing performance. So
Amazing
I was
performance as
noting
well.
that as the guitar solo was starting, that
Yeah.
guy, as I keep saying, was showing off, and he did this gesture to,
Yeah.
to have his shades in place,
Have says,
and
yeah.
that was so. I mean, there was so much swag,
So cool. So
so much,
cool.
so much swag in every single, and this guy, the vocalist, Riasat Azmi, he had this slick suit and slick
Yeah.
hairstyle when he was in alternate reality. And every single, I mean, the performance, the video, the direction, the how it was compiled, right?
Hmm.
Every single thing is just, yeah,
Brilliant
directly.
work. Brilliant work.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't have any further thing to add other than that I would be exploring more of their work because as you said they have set the bar so high that this band demands your attention. Uh, Amazing.
All right.
Okay, then let's wrap it up here. Thank you so much for whoever suggested this particular track. There were many recommendations for this
All
track,
of
and it
them.
had been all of them. Thank you so much for bringing this particular gem to our attention. And we hope that we keep on listening similar kind of music in future as well. Until then, take care of yourself. Thank you so much. Bye bye.